we all remember the first time we broke a minute and 100 free, and the first time we saw 59, like just two numbers for 100. That felt so special for us to go under the one something something. So to go under 20 and to see a 19.
Welcome to this episode of Social Kick. We got a full crew here and no guest. I'm John Mullen. We got Luke Paddington, finally healthy with a little bit of a voice, and Brian Lundquist. How you guys doing today?
I'm all right. I'm just admiring the fact that Luke's head is so big that his Social Kick hat can't even cover the hairline. If he had my hairline, it'd be covered. But
what if it's like this? How's that? Hold on. That's how you did it in the 90s.
What size fitted hat do you wear?
A 2. Or fit, I don't know, 16. But I'm a 2 or 3.
I don't know what that means.
I'm a 3 punch.
A 3 punch in the. Oh my gosh, dude, your head is enormous.
Yes, it is. But I'm so psyched to be on this. I got my glasses, John, that are anti-reflective from Barnes & Noble. So hopefully they're not like shining back at
not as bad as mine. We'll see.
It's not bad.
Yeah, I got a Bengals beanie for Christmas, and it was determined by my beautiful wife that I have a short forehead. My head isn't small, but I have a short forehead. So that's why hats don't fit on me well. I'm like, what? Okay, anyways. Well, we're going to do a little recap here. Everyone's doing recap shows and stuff, so we figured, hey, we don't want to miss out on the fun. Let's recap a crazy year of 2024 swimming. So we are, I don't know, mildly prepared for this? What do we say?
I always have an opinion. Whether or not it's super informed, I don't know. But I do always love listening to the year-end recaps, and there was a lot that happened in swimming this year, obviously being an Olympic year, World Championships, NCAAs, and I don't know, our happenings within the year too. So we got some things to talk about on all those fronts.
But for sure. Can I put a disclaimer out that I'm absolutely going to forget something, and I'm going to forget something really important many times, and please forgive us. We're just going to go over our emotions and feelings because, I don't know, I think all of us had a break from swimming for the last 3 or 4 days over these holidays. And maybe that's a different perspective, but also it doesn't help the memory in our old age.
So true.
Yes.
Well, I think true to our nature, this is a forum, if you've been listening to us for a while, where we just talk shit about swimming and hang out with each other. So it's not meant to be a comprehensive recap of the news that took place. It's just some opinions talking about what happened in our lives this year, what happened in the swimming world this year, and things that stood out. And yeah, for sure, we'll forget some things, but it's just about whatever comes to mind. So that's the intent of this show. So yeah, take it away, John.
Yeah, let's start it off. So why don't we, instead of other shows where they're going to kind of ease into the categories, we're going to get right into it. Best swim of 2024, or best individual swim of 2024. Luke, what stands out to you? Best individual swim.
I did a dive 100 when I was in Trinidad a few weeks ago, and I was happy with it, dude. You know, yeah. I was, somebody else's. Okay.
No, you can pick that. I'm amazed. I think that's the most amazing swim of the year that you did it. I knew Leon was going to do the 200 fly at the Olympics. I didn't know Luke was going to do a dive 100.
I did.
You told me that in March, I wouldn't believe it.
It was pretty amazing. My watch fell off, my cap fell off, and my goggles fell off within the first 15 meters. But it's because of my streamline. It's just so hardcore. That's right. No, So the best individual swim of 2024, male or female, short course or long course, it's regardless of the name. To me, yes, it's the freshest one, but I was a 50 freestyler going 19.9. To me, it's still it's still the one that I'm like, holy crap, he did it. He did it. He destroyed it. He went 19.9, and barrier breaking. To me, that was just fantastic how he did that. So Jordan Crooks.
For anyone unaware, Jordan Crooks is 19.9, first man under 20 short course meters. I think that's a good call. I especially after Dressel, and Flo have both been low 20 points, and then there was that special event with Speedo with the laser, and I was actually surprised that Dressel didn't get under 20 in that one, but who knows what kind of training or place he was in going into that. It was coming for a long time. My only thing with that is, like, again, as an American, my perspective on short meters, it has none of the historical context. If I had the same type of perspective, my whole upbringing was based on short meters instead of short yards, I would feel that way about it. But I hold the short course yards records and milestones in such higher regard that for me personally, somebody going 17 is a bigger deal than someone internationally going 19, even though they're probably about the same. Like Jordan's been 17.9 short course yards, and then I would put 19.9 somewhere in that, high 17 range. So obviously it entails more swimming, but
anyway. so many Americans haven't tapered short course meters in their prime years or for prime meets and things like that. And it may even go to other people than just Americans. So that's where, 19.9 is amazing, but I'm with it where I do think the records at least maybe are down a little bit of a peg just because we haven't seen, we didn't see Dressel that same year. He went 17.6 to a 50 short course meters 50. He obviously did it later, but it's like, did we really see him at his peak? And you could argue, hey, you don't always see every athlete at their peak for each discipline and distance, and yards kind of gets that too after they're professional. But compared to at least long course meters, I think it is a little bit lower regarded in my books. That is, as well as what you said, B. I just don't have that same perspective as well.
Yeah, and I think it was easier to get a gauge for that back when in our era. I remember when I first got to Auburn, like my freshman year, I think is when Fred Biscay broke the world record in the 50 free at NCAA's 2004 when they used to do it short meters. And then the next year, so he went 21-1 for that world record. and then the next year went 18-7. For the short course yards record. So like back to back, you had, assuming that, obviously he improved from one year to the next, probably, if we can make that assumption, but like you're at the 21-1, 18 high range. And now you've got Jordan doing it, in the same year, being a 17.9 and a 19.9 person. So it took 20 plus years to get there, 20 years exactly. So I don't know. You kind of have that comparison, but we just don't always have that comparison.
But it's more than just the time. It's the
barrier.
It was symbolic for swimming. For us swimmers, we all remember the first time we broke a minute in the 100 free, and the first time we saw 59, like just two numbers for 100. That felt so special for us to go under the 1 something. So to go under 20 and to see a 19, it was first time breaking 50 seconds and seeing a 49 by Jim Montgomery. That just as a swimmer, just that, holy crap, there it is. That was the difference. Just seeing this number being different we never seen before on a board.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay, speaking of holy crap, there it is. Let's move on from Jordan Crooks.
Yeah, you got B.
402, 402.5.
Oh, I had that on mine, that's for sure. I thought that might slide under the radar because it was so long ago.
Dude, again, not to harp on the yards thing so much, but when he did it, the previous record was 406. Had anybody even been 405 yet? No. So to take 4 seconds off of a record that I think Kieran Smith had it, but then prior to that, PVK had it for a really long time.
Yeah.
And so that record's been sitting around that 4.0 high for a while. And so for somebody to just come in and go, here's what you can do. You can stay underwater to 15 meters for an entire 500 freestyle and then go 402. It was like, what?
Yeah. That record made me gasp when I saw it. The one summer I was like, whoa. And how he did it too. Like you said, he was out so fast. Suicide speed.
And that's what I mean is there were a lot of other great swims this year. But to me, that was one that I just went, what? Mm-hmm. And I think that one gave me that reaction more than any other swim the rest of the year.
Yeah. What do you think of that one, Luke?
Do you think that he knew that was going to be his last 500 he'd ever swim, and he's like, I'm just going to put it there and put it out of reach forever, because he knew he was going to go pro. He was not going back to NCs. He's like, I'm just going to stamp it down and put a 139 IM and a freaking 4.2. Yeah. If he just stamped it down.
I think he knew. I think yes. And I think it's kind of coming out. It was just like, he even kind of said afterward, he's like, I have no limits on this. I was just going to go for it and see what happened. And when we were talking with Rex Maurer, he was saying he doesn't know if the plan was to get under 4, but I bet you that was in the back of his head, Leon's head, right?
Yeah. Clearly he swam off events just for the hell of it.
Sure. But yeah, I think he knew that he wasn't going to do that again. So might as well just go for it. What about you,
John? What was your swim?
Yeah, the other one that I had, and I've got a long list here, so maybe we can touch on a few more, but the Pan 500 or Pan 100 free world record was the hammer drop for me.
The second one he did,
46.4.
because remember he set 2 in 2024.
Yeah. The 46.4, right?
People forget that. People forget he did it at Worlds.
Yeah, but no, that was the one for me at the Olympics, and the slow pool, and he was kind of having an okay meet, and then boom, he just killed it, and that time made my jaw drop because I think we were all talking so much about that 100 free before the Olympics. Oh, this is going to be such a good race. We got Dressel, we got Popovici, we have all these people in the race. It's going to be a great race.
You know,
and it wasn't even he just smashed it. It was nuts. And that broke so many online accounts and so many different things. And the discourse went on quite a while around that swim. So that was the most or best individual race for me.
Yeah, I think I think in terms of the reaction, it'd be unfair for me to say that I didn't have the same reaction, if not even more to that than Leon's 500. I mean, they were both equally mind-blowing, disbelief. No, this guy could not have gone that way. I remember, I saw the time before I watched the actual race, and I remember having seen the result, going, "No freaking way!"
Yeah,
and then watched the race after, or getting to, I guess. But I think in my mind for this segment, I was kind of saving that for kind of a controversial moment too, right? And so, but yeah, I mean, blowing the doors off of arguably the most revered world record. The 100 freestyle just holds such a place in swimming, as being kind of it's kind of like, the 100 meters in track is. That's what 100 freestyle is in swimming. So to take, 4/10 off of already just an otherworldly kind of world record going 46, as few people have done it, is insanity.
Yeah,
but it was, and also as swimmers, and we've coached swimming and fan of swimming, how he swam it, how normally he goes out fast and dies or comes back fast. He did it both. He went out in 22.2 back in 24.1. That's ridiculous. To come back in a 24.1 and 100 free long course is insane. Chalmers comes back in 24.4 and is known as a comeback king in 100 free. He came back 24.1 after going out 22.2 to feet.
Yeah, and then backed it up again, taking down Lezak's 40
fastest relay,
46 flat, and going 45.9, to replicate that performance is also, really validating too.
Yeah. So I don't know. That one just similar to the Leon one, like you said, just blew my mind. Was in disbelief. If someone would have told me what someone was going to go before, I think 47.0, 46.9 probably, with how the pool and how everyone was swimming at that meet. And then for him to go that time, it was just like, wow. It's like when we were talking the 500 and I was talking with patients and people about Leon doing the 500, I'm like, maybe like 405. I could see him being around the record. No, 402. That's just like breaking my mental expectations and beliefs. So both of those definitely did that. But we definitely had some great swims on the women's side too. Any best women's race or anything else, I guess, before we move on from that about Leon or those other men's races?
Well, I was going to say that because there are a lot of amazing other swimmers in 2024. We haven't mentioned their names, and the Walshes and the McIntoshes and the Q and stuff. That means someone's 400 IM. But that's not going to come close for a while. What did it go for? 424 it was? The heck.
Yeah. No, that was a amazing swim. And Summer's doing, amazing stuff for anyone, but especially for a female her age. And she just stamped it on her world champs here, short course meters, with her world records there as well.
Yeah, and then I think Gretchen's 100 fly is a huge swim, but obviously got I don't know what you want to say, some of the took some of the sauce off of it by not finishing it and winning the gold medal in the Olympics. So I think that's in part why it just takes a little bit out of it, where Pan 100 free was to win gold. So, but then and crazy to think that Gretchen sets a world record long course, and then that's not even the most outstanding thing she does in the year. Her NCAAs, and then followed up with an otherworldly short course world performance. It's just that also just put that ahead in my mind of, a long course world record. So, yeah, I mean, so many good ones.
Yeah. And I think, with Gretchen, like you said, she had the yard season, long course season where she set a world record, and then short course meter season. And I think that just gets back to, I don't know, just short course isn't regarded as much because you could say her World Cup, and we had that post like short course world champs or Phelps's Olympics. What was the better meet? And what she did at World Champs, she was wrecking records, right? Just wrecking them by huge margins. And that wasn't on our radar as a best swim. Although great swims, I think we all agree with that, but not the best swim of the year. So,
right. And then you have other ones that get like overshadowed too, like Reagan breaking the 100 back world record at trials, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then the battles that she's had with Kaylee kind of takes a bit of the the shine off of that one too. So
sure,
amazing swims, but you kind of have to like think about, at least in my mind, I think about like all the different things that come to them, the wow factor, the like delta to the existing record, the moment, all those things, how it makes you feel.
But that's it. We've only talked about the races in terms of the times that they went, right? Which is fantastic. But these are races, and there were some hell of a races that the times when they're great, but back in our day, the race of the century was Phelps, Thorpe, Van der Hogebond, right? At 200 free. That was supposed to be the race of the century, the three titans of distance. Well, Titmus, McIntosh, and Ledecky's 400 free was dubbed the new race of the century. That was a heck of a race for Arnie to win. That was that was the pressure she faced at the biggest stage it was the opening day. I mean, when's the 400 free or soon? Against those two, Unknown and the Legend. And she wins that. That's a race. That was a swim. So the time was great, but we could talk about what was the best race besides time.
Well, it kind of gets into the point. I mean, we are, I think, all admittedly swim nerds, right? And it's funny how all these different, meet formats want to get away from times. But that's what brings me back. And when I look at like the best swim, it does go back to times where, like you said, Luke, it's more the race for a lot of people in a lot of different sports. It's not like a lot of times in a football game, it's not like, oh, the score was the big thing. It's the competition. It's how close it was. It was the battle. But swimming is different in that regard. But like you said, there were tons of great races. Summer's 200 IM stands out to me as a great race where she had Kaylee was in that race, and Kate Douglas was in that race, and Alex Walsh was in that race, and then Alex Walsh had the DQ. Although she didn't win, it was just like so much was kind of around that race, and this was like, oh, Summer, is she going to really stamp that she is arguably the best female swimmer right now? And I think with that race, she did against all those other amazing swimmers.
Yep, well said. Let's move on.
Cool. All right, next, why don't we get into, and we'll test your guys's memory here. Best relay of 2024. Best relay race of 2024.
I mean,
or Brian, you want to kick us off here? I'm gonna put my shade down while you get going.
Yeah, I don't know. It's probably one of the Aussie women dominating, but you had the U.S. women's medley world record at the Olympics. I'm gonna go with that one. I mean, in terms of race performance, I think it's that. And then you've got Pan's 45.9 chasing down the U.S. At the end of the Olympics too, which, watching that race live was like, not fun watching the U.S. get caught. But to me, I think it's the U.S. women's medley overall is the best performance.
At the Olympics.
Yeah.
They also at World Champs had a amazing relay there too, where they crushed the world record.
Right.
So they are just the women's U.S. medleys are really on point right now.
Yep.
Luke, what stands out to you?
I felt, I mean, we all swam the 4x1, 4x2. It was so nice when you got three other teammates in your relay that you just nailed down and you guys just were that relay. And to win an Olympic gold medal in back-to-back Olympic games with the same four swimmers, Great Britain 4x2 men, that's just something special for swimming, for swimmers, for them. It was a feel-good moment to see Richards, Dean, Guy, and
Scott.
Did
you say Duncan? Okay.
Yeah, Duncan. Yeah, that to me was a very special moment to see them repeat. That's never been done before. It's a really hard, a lot of pressure. It's an event. 4x2 is a really hard event to continue being top of your game at in that period. That was wonderful to see. And they had been working for that. I mean, they went to some meet just to qualify that team for the relay and went back into training. They had focused 4 years just to stand on top of that podium again, and they did it. So that felt good to see for me personally.
Yeah, two other ones, and like Brian said, the Chinese men's medley relay was an amazing race. The mixed medley at the Olympics. I mean, most of the Olympics relays are just amazing races, but two outside of that stood out to me. Gretchen Walsh, 19.9 relay split at the ACC 200 free relay. I think, as Luke said, that's a huge barrier, a female breaking 20 on a relay. Yep. And then the other one for me that just kind of stood out as maybe not an odd one, but it was like, wow, this crew got a world record. It was the women's 4x2 at world champs short course meters. Alex Walsh, Madden, Grimes, and Weinstein won and broke a world record. And I'm like, God, they just stepped up and had a great race. And I remember having relays like that where you just have people outperform what they can do. And those are all great swimmers, but obviously I don't think people would say that's the best U.S. 800 free relay. So that was just fun to see them get a world record, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. Yeah, it's there were a lot of those kinds of performances in short course worlds too, by the way, like ones that people didn't necessarily expect. I mean, it's like crazy to think that Luke Hobson's 200 freestyle world record, wasn't something that, I mean, he was the Olympic bronze medalist, and what he did yards was obviously indicative of what he could do short course, but can't say that we thought, oh, he's going to take down like a pretty revered short course meter world record.
Yeah. Ponte, 100 fly, breaking Dressel's short course meters world record. I mean, obviously Ponte had a great World Cup and was breaking the 50 fly, but we all, I think, regarded Dressel's 100 fly world record as kind of the next tier or next level, but he rose to the occasion and broke that world record. So
yeah, pretty wild.
Yeah. All right. Any other relays to touch on?
Well, we could ask AI and see what AI says. It's always funny.
They'll give us relays that didn't even exist. That'd be my guess there. Exactly. All right. Moving on. Best meet of 2024. Maybe this is like what meet you had the most fun watching or experiencing. So, because obviously the Olympics is the obvious answer here. Like, oh, that's the best one. But if you're looking for world records, maybe that wasn't the meet for you. Luke, what do you have?
I gotta think about it a bit more because it definitely goes back to the fact that swimming, it's all question Olympic gold or world record. Swimming and seeing people achieve the greatest thing you can achieve in swimming, the hardest thing you can achieve in swimming. It only comes once every 4 years against the best on the day, the Olympic gold, versus seeing swimming that's never been done ever by anybody. That's a world record. And to see that done 30 times in 6 days versus just seeing such beautiful stories of these Olympic gold medalists. It's a huge debate, Olympic gold world record. And what do you enjoy in the sport more? And to me, it's still the Olympic Games. It's the Olympic Games. It's what France did for their star athlete. It's to see the stars that we predicted do their best, to see a bunch of unknowns come up. It's the Olympic Games for me.
I'm going to take a different approach to the answer to this question, and I'm not just giving you the meet itself. When I think about like the best meet, I'm thinking about athletes' meet performances. And so here's my, in no particular order, Gretchen Walsh's short course worlds, Leon's Paris performance in a home Olympic Games, Tori Husk's performance in Paris. And then what was the other one? Sjostrom in Paris. Those are the like ones that stand out to me amongst like athletes that showed up huge in the moment. Let's give Summer McIntosh another one in Paris too. Those are the ones that when I think about like who just showed up and had an amazing meet, given all the things together, that's what I think about.
Yeah. See, for me, and I'm more of a times person and kind of setting records and experiences. So for me, it was selfishly U.S. Olympic trials, being there in person. I had never been to a meet like that. That was like when I went there that first night before you guys got there and saw how loud it was. I was like, wow, this is amazing. So that kind of like is a moment that stands out for me as a best meet. And I was there. The other one for me is just, and maybe it's more relatable. I was more of a yard swimmer, have more experience in the college system than obviously going to Olympics. But men's NCAAs this year, just like like I said, Leon's 402 to like set it off. The relays were firing. I don't know. I remember being so glued into that because it was like after that started the meet, I'm like, what the hell is going to happen? And then you have Leon going like, what do you go, 40.2 leading off the 400 free relay. And it was like, is he going to break the 100 free NCAA record here? I'm not counting it out. And, he just missed it. But yeah, so those two were the kind of the ones for me.
Yeah. Yeah. And side note on that 100 freestyle, it's like still just such a bummer to me that the 100 freestyle always has to be at the end of these meets because we never get to see. I mean, even like Cesar Cielo's 40.9 was a tired 40.9. Dressel's 39.9 was a tired 39.9.
And those guys did prelims and finals relays, right? So it's like it was even more and more of a condensed meet too for Cesar, right? That was condensed back then.
Yeah. Shorter meet having to do. I mean, he didn't do that many prelim relays,
but still, though, still, just so yeah.
It's interesting when we talk about best meet. Meets technically are when one team competes against another team to see who's the best team. And we never once mentioned, well, that was ASU, that was Virginia doing well, or that was Australia winning the gold medal count, or that was what I mean? Like we talk about individuals, not like, wow, this country or this team had a great meet as a collective.
Well, just to steal categories from me, why don't you?
Well, yeah.
Best team. I guess we'll just go right into it. Luke named them all.
Yeah. What was the best team meet of 2024? You got to think about how France may have performed at their home Olympics, how ASU won their first title in ever, how Virginia stamped their authority. I mean, keep going. What do you think is the best team performance of 2024?
Yeah, I think you named a ton there. I'll go ASU men. I mean, from being cut to now winning a national title, it gives my Purdue Boilermakers hope that we can rise from not being a strong swim team to the top of NCAAs. And all the ones you named, Luke, were amazing. Like the France team at the Olympics was amazing performance, right? And I can only imagine being from France or being there, what that was like. But ASU, and like I said, maybe ER just being more relatable to me, just stood out on the team side. And I think NC's just has more of a team vibe. Yes, these Olympians are on a team, but it's a little different, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's easy for us to move past because there's like not much of a team race element to it. The Virginia women are so dominant that like to not mention them is like probably without a doubt the most dominant team performance of the year, whether you look at NCAAs or at short course worlds. But I think I'm looking forward to seeing what they can do with the men. Maybe this foreshadowing a bit, but I think maybe that takes a little bit off of. No, it doesn't take anything away from it. That's a totally separate topic. But anyway, Virginia women, I think, is like crazy. They're just so far ahead with their big name swimmers at the top with Walsh and Kate Douglas, and then they also put Emma Weber on the Olympic team. I mean, anyway, I think Virginia women is the one that stands out, but I'll give an honorable mention shout out to Canada in Paris. I mean, obviously the home team, France, and then Flo's medal in the 50 was crazy. They had some big performances there, but I think between Summer McIntosh, Ilya, Josh Liendo, and then did Finley get a medal? I can't remember what happened in the IM, but anyway, like he's had a good year. And so Canada also, like, for the size of the nation, they had a great Paris.
I was going to say, the US got a lot of flack after the Olympics, the men especially. But then Bobby swims that last race and reminds the world, the US men, don't forget about them. And a few months later, they came back and showed they are the best elite short course swimmers in the world right now. They're still a powerhouse. Yes, you can say a lot of swimmers were not at short course worlds, but I'm not talking about how many gold medals the US won. I'm talking about how many world records, how many of the greatest swims we've ever swum in that pool the US did. So they just came back and they just had a meet says, don't forget about us, men and women. Don't forget about who we are, even though they had a bad at Paris. And that was lovely to see them come back.
Yeah, it does suck that not everybody showed up at short course worlds, though.
Yeah, it does.
That's how it goes, though, right? I mean, when does everyone go to short course worlds?
I know.
ever. Once again, that gets into the short course debate versus long course, right? Everyone's trying to show up for the Olympics, but yeah, Bobby Fink's mile, yeah, that's one that I think many would put in there as best race of the year. I mean, so, and who would have thought, where U.S. men's distance swimming was how many years ago? Like 15, 20 years ago, where it's like, oh, we want anyone to be good. And I think there was that incentive. If someone won the Olympics and the mile or distance event, you'd win $1 million. And now that's the only one we win, other than the 4x1 relay, right? I mean, times have changed.
Yeah, the way he won it too was crazy, because I think like 10 out of 10 people would have said Bobby's race strategy is to like sit on the hip of the lead group and then hang back and, be within striking distance for the last 50. And then he just, totally flipped that script and said, I can do it a different way. And then to break the world record at the same time was just, pretty epic. Obviously with the medal implications too. Just a big moment and fun to see live. I got to see that one live.
Yeah, I can only imagine. All right, so 200 IM stat correction. Wang Shun got third, and Duncan Scott got second at the Olympics. No knocks on that one.
Yeah. But anyway, good year from him still.
Big time. Yep. All right, now let's get into breakout swimmer of the year. So this will just be kind of like who either came out of nowhere or who went beyond what you thought they could do. So we'll do breakout female. We'll go male and female for this. So female breakout swimmer of the year.
Well, first I'm just going to talk about breakouts, and Jordan Crooks has a great breakout. Here's one that stood out to me: Aaron Shackle, getting on the U.S. Olympic team, leading off the Olympic trials with a statement victory in the 400 freestyle. That one really surprised me. So
we're doing male, or are we combining here?
Oh, I don't know. What do you want to do?
I thought I said female, but let's do male then. Let's just roll with it.
I don't know. I just
or just ramble.
The other one on the female side, I mean, Meg Harris getting a second in Paris was a big swim from her. Those are ones that stand out to me. Emma Weber making the Olympic team. What else?
Yeah, no, I think, Aaron Shackle, like you said, what a way to start the meet, and who had him on their bingo board as making the team? I don't think anyone, right? So I'm with you there on that Aaron Shackle one, and the Weber. God, I remember or at least I was like looking her up when she made the team. I was like, what did she get at NCAA's? And I forget what it was. It was like, I think a B console swim. And I'm like, she made the team?
Hey, I got another one. Riley Gaines, breakout star.
Moving on. All right, look who you got.
She had a big year.
Hey, she's probably had one of the largest increases in social media following. So got to give her that. That and the girl that's trying to sleep with everyone getting kicked out of the Olympics.
Big year. How about Ali Jewett? Big year.
Ali Jewett.
Huge.
You got Luke.
I'm at loss right now. This is where my disclaimer comes in. I'm going to forget some big names. Like I want to obviously there's people who we knew were good and we didn't realize how good they were. Or this is the year they realized the potential that we saw in them as well. I think that's what it is. I'm thinking of some like 17-year-olds or like Hyman making the Olympic team in 2 events. So, things that, people who we knew were good and coming out there. Whitlock doing his thing at trials, coming out of nowhere, but not then going to the Olympics. So I think it's a lot of the youth in it, the Alex Shackle, how she came up. So I think it's a lot of those juniors who we knew were good, who then solidified an Olympic team, and we knew that they're gonna be sort of force in LA. Riley Erisman, like how where she's gonna be in a couple of years' time. So I think I'm going with the youth right now. There's one breakout swimmer who I was just really impressed was that 200 Al Jawadi, the Tunisian kid who won Worlds. Just how he won that, so raw, so much room for improvement in my mind in terms of technique and stuff. But I just loved how another Tunisian star, Al Jawadi, coming out. He won 800. He won. Yeah, it's unbelievable. So I like seeing those world junior champs who get to the next level. Like we knew Within was good. Next level, he wins gold. It's great.
Yeah. What do you got, John?
Yeah, I had a few other ones. I had some of those youth ones too. But Giuliano stood out to me as like a guy who went to the next level, especially at trials. It was like, wow, I knew he was good, but holy crap, he's, what is he, 50, 100? Did he make 200 as well?
Yeah, 200 as well.
What was it, right? First guy since
Biondi.
Yeah, Biondi do it. I mean, that just blew my mind there. Noah Ponte at World Champs. Obviously, we knew he was good, but that was, I think, taking it to the next level as well. Mary Sophie Harvey, I think another one that's been around for a little, but kind of stepped up and finally got her individual medal at World Champs short course here. So that was great to see. And then another guest that we had on, Mona McSherry. I think another shocker with her getting that medal was just like her kind of breaking out to that next level. And I will say this, the Olympics did provide a fair amount of those moments where it was like, I don't know, just people that had been around that got a medal just due to the oddities of how the meet was going. And she stood out as one that kind of just surprised me to sneak in there.
Yep. Good ones.
All right. All right. Last one I have on swimming stuff for the year. Male swimmer of the year.
I mean, how can it not be Leon? I feel like it's got to be Leon. When the Olympics are in your hometown and you show up and deliver everything as following up on obviously what he's done in college swimming, and then having his year to just bask in the sun and have all the money coming his way. It's got to be Leon. I don't think there's any argument against it personally, but anybody else is honorable mention.
Yeah, I'm with you there. I think he's the no-brainer there. Luke, you got anything else to add?
I mean, for those who don't know much about swimming, if Leon was an American, he possibly could have walked away with 7 gold medals.
Oh, because of the relays, yeah.
Yeah.
It's
nothing. Yeah, I also had Pan on this list. I agree, it's Leon hands down, but I think just that 100 free, and like I said, that was my swim of the race. It just that kind of just like shocked the world and did, I think, something similar that Leon did, but obviously Leon at home, versatility, it's no debate.
So much pressure on him. NCAA is I kept getting better.
Lives up to it. Lives up to the pressure. I mean, and I hope he is enjoying it and can continue to live up to it and not get burn out or have other issues that we've seen some of our great swimmers have to deal with, because he's so fun to watch.
Yeah.
It's crazy to think that Bob's just delivered two of the greatest Olympic performances ever. And somewhat similar, somewhat different events, some like similar skill sets. I don't know. I mean, he's had a hell of a year too.
That is mind-blowing. Yep. All right. Well, let's get into maybe a little harder one. Female swimmer of the year. I think this one is a little more debatable. Who you would give that to? So, Luke, you got someone?
Yeah, it's still summer. It's the summer. Yeah. I mean, you have to realize that 2 fly, 2 IM, 4 IM, she dominated that, and then she can still drop a medal in 4 free. She can go short. She can go long. And she just turned 18. I mean, and she's doing something there that and she has so much more to go. She and what Brent is doing down in Sarasota, kudos to everything they do. Well done.
Yeah, I think it's got to be Gretchen needs a mention here because of the short course worlds, but I still stand on the side of, as like when we did a reel on this, comparing Gretchen's performance of short course worlds to Phelps's long course. There were a lot of people who are like clearly sit in the long course camp and revere that above short course performances, which like fair. But at the same time, like give credit where credit's due. That was an unbelievable performance from Gretchen short course meters. So
Summer had a great short course meters too. I mean, she broke a couple world records there. So it was like,
fair.
So it's not even like, Gretchen dominated and Summer's more of a long course. So
totally. Yeah. But I mean, to win 3 Olympic golds individually is crazy. So
definitely. Yeah. I mean, a few other on my list. I mean, I'm with you on Summer and then probably Gretchen next, but Kaylee McEwen. I mean, she's
back to back.
Yeah. Had a great swim. She got snuck into that bronze, didn't she, in the 200 IM as well with the Walsh DQs. So I mean, pretty amazing Olympics for her. And then, I know B and I always talk about it, but Kate Douglas, just her versatility and, doing the 200 breast and then the 100 free and just all over the place and getting a world record in the 2 breast, having a great year. And then Reagan also breaking world records, having a great year. So that was kind of my short list.
Yeah, Sjöström is the other one that stands out to me because I don't think anybody expected her to come and win, not 2 events.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that was pretty crazy, and maybe, I don't know. That was nuts.
How much more do you think we get out of Sostrom?
I don't know.
He's going to do another Olympics?
Yeah, so like I had some notes down just about like what do we think that we saw this year, and I'm just gonna like rattle off some of the things like that may have happened this year. Like have we passed Popovici's peak? I don't know. Is Lydia Jacoby also done?
Yeah.
Now, we saw some big time retirements between Bruno to Tatiana Smith to Maggie McNeil, McKeon,
McKeon, yeah.
Yeah, but then also like Dressel's prime seems to be like pretty clearly in the past. Will we see a comeback from Michael Andrew with his change in training? There's just like a lot of other things. Aren't all Phelps's world records gone now too?
Yep.
Lezak's anchor gone this year. All these super suited short course records gone this year.
Yeah.
A lot of big time moments that I think just like, I'm wondering about like, where are we in the transition of, things that have gone. Chad Leclos, another one where it's like, what's going on? Is his career done, or are we just, kind of waiting for a big comeback? He says that there's, he expects more big things to come, but obviously Paris and Short Course Worlds didn't go any way he expected it to. And it's like, okay, well, is that it?
Mm-hmm. It's really hard to tell. I mean, we didn't expect Flo to get 4 medals in a row in the 50 free. That's insane at his age. Kyle to get 3 medals in the 100 free in a row individually. That's insane. Summers are starting to show some longevity in the sport, with different ways. So we just to go back to the Sarah question, it shows she swam that 100 free thinking that, let's have some fun. And she did it. Flo says, let's have some fun and do some handball and drink some Coke and extend your career and do, CAM. So it's hard to predict, Brian, that where we are going in the sport going for who's going to be there in Worlds next year, who's going to be stepping up in LA. It's really difficult. We can say Riley Erisman, sure, or we can say Summer for sure, but we don't know. It could be Sarah again swimming a 50 free, 50 butterfly, maybe.
There's one thing that I think that I've really learned in the last year, though, that I think is we've talked a lot about on this show and off air, is versatility, and maybe even like some volume integrating with sprint training. With the exception of like pure 50 freestylers like Cam, and the program that he's put together is like highly specialized. But then on the flip side of that, we've got like this unparalleled historically like theme of versatility from people like Kate Douglas to Gretchen to Ilya. Michael Andrew,
Jordan Crooks, even.
We were tired. Like, there's a lot of 50 freestylers now that can all do the 200 freestyle, and that hasn't always
short course.
Yeah, short course. Maybe not long, but short. And then I think that it's just like crazy to me that you're starting to see people be able to be more consistent with backing up race after race in the same session, in the same meet, across myriad events, and that just seems to be happening in a lot of different cases. And I don't know what all is leading to it. I mean, you could just say it's like the progression of sport in general. But also I think there's like some efficiency that we're hearing a lot of athletes talk about, whether that's like, I forget what they called it at ASU. Who are we talking to recently? But just like holding a lot of water, which has been a key focus of the Virginia women and obviously their men's program too. So we'll see what happens with them. But I think it's probably like a blend of nutrition, like training methods around all total wellness, sleep, specific strength training. But like, there's some, I don't know, the versatility is just crazy to me, and stands out a lot. And as seems to me like this has been a real breakout year, maybe last year too, but over the past 2 years, there's just lots of athletes who can swim lots of events.
Yeah. No, we're definitely seeing it. And we're seeing a lot in the short course world, but we're seeing it in long course too, where it's translating more and more over there. So yeah, no, that has definitely been a development and something exciting to see. And kind of back to Sostrom, I bet you she does one more Olympics, just 50 free. I mean, she's got that so dialed in and she can focus on that. And Dressel, I think 50 free is going to be his bag and just focus on that for the next Olympics. I hope he makes it, but obviously the U.S. team's a little different than the Swedish team for making it just for competitiveness sakes and things like that. But I do think, it's like you have the crew, and the older crew is the ones that can do it more, where it's like, hey, we're just going to focus on the 50 like Cam's doing. And that's all we're going to worry about. And you're able to see more and more athletes just focus on that as they get older, as they have more money or autonomy or ability to do what they want within their programming, where the other ones are still having to do a little bit more. And that's why we're seeing those a little older still be good at the 50 and continue to have success.
I mean, nobody's breaking 24 seconds in a 50 free fall, man. So why not keep doing it if you've done it 100 times? Like you've nailed it in. So stop doing it when you stop enjoying it.
Yeah, exactly. And she might be done. She got married, I believe, recently, and we'll see what happens. Kind of same with like Dressel, just had a second kid. So that's kind of the unknown with a lot of these athletes too. It's like, okay, yes, it's one thing to just be like, hey, if you like it, just keep doing it. But you have to, one, keep liking it. And then two, other things compete for your time in life. And that's perfectly fine.
Yeah, we were talking about that with Ryan Murphy recently, with some of his life changes, getting a new house, kid on the way. And yet, he's still showing up and winning medals, but it's like, how long can you continue to do that? And how mentally strong are you? How into it are you to still bring it every day at the level that you need to bring it to be able to keep that place in the world? So, yeah.
Being able to do backstroke sets till the back of your eyes hurt. I don't know if Luke has it in him still.
Oh, man.
When he said that, it hurt me to hear that. Like the pain he must have gone through. Incredible.
Killer. All right.
Well, no, go ahead, John.
I was gonna say I got one more thing to finish up on. So my last little thing was kind of favorite moment for all of us from the show this year. Doesn't have to be an episode, just can be like something or one favorite moment, right? It's hard to go through all of them. Geez, how many shows did we do this year? Probably 70 or 80 if I were to just throw a number out there. But any favorite moment or moments that stand out from the show?
Yeah, I mean, I was talking to our mutual friend about this recently, and I think Michael Andrew, we had a great conversation with him, and didn't expect going into that show for him to be as vulnerable as he was, and share with us about his shift, major life shift. So I think that one hit all of us was pretty impactful for all of us, just, for the emotion that he showed and the candor that he showed. And, we value being a safe place for any athlete to come on and share a conversation with, because that's what we do with each other. And so I think that was, I don't know. That was probably the one that stands out the most to me. What about you guys?
That was a big one for sure, B. Luke?
I mean, I was going to say MA for sure, but because what you said, Brian, but I was really nervous and honored that Bob Bowman was going to be on the show. And I had a whole different idea of what to expect of Bob, and I really was wrong. And I really enjoyed getting to know him and understand how he is a leader of people and athletes. I mean, he motivated me. He inspired me. He was funny. I learned so much from him. I really enjoyed dispelling any misconceptions I had of who he may have been and how he got there to be somebody who I really enjoyed getting to know for an hour.
Yeah, well, one that stood out for me, and this is actually after the show, I think, when we were talking with Mary Sophie Harvey about, events to swim and strategy. I thought that I was pretty honored to kind of be part of that conversation, and I'm sure it played zero role in whatever she decided, but I thought that was kind of a fun moment that I really enjoyed. And just, like I said, just being honored to be still involved with the swimming community and chatting with these athletes. And, if you would have told me a while ago, we'd be chatting with all these Olympians and gold medalists and world record holders. It's a pretty cool experience just to sit back and reflect on that.
Yeah, it's been a special journey for us. I mean, we started doing Social Kick because we used to go and hang out at John's house and watch the live stream of, whatever event was going on, or the world champs or NCAAs, and, have some beverages and talk about swimming. And, now it's led us to 200 plus episodes of chatting with swimmers and having a presence in social media, trying to just cover the sport in a new and fun way. And, and we're still on that path. So actually we do have an ask for anyone who's listening. Thank you for being on this journey with us. And we'd also love to hear from you too about what do you like about Social Kick? What keeps you coming back? And if you do enjoy it, shoot us a note and let us know what you'd love to see more of, or you can reach us at our social Instagram at Social Kick Swim. Shoot us an email, team@socialkickswim.com. And we'd love to hear from you. And then if you like Social Kick, please share it with your friends, whether you like it on YouTube or Spotify. We don't share any sponsors on here. Maybe we will at some point, but we mostly just do this for fun. And so we appreciate all of you being along on this journey. And if you do like it, it helps us grow by sharing a clip, a video, an episode, wherever you like to consume this content. So let us know what you'd like to see and hear more of in the future, and we appreciate you listening.
Beautiful. Nope, couldn't say it better. Luke, anything else to add on top of that?
I just enjoyed continue to be a part of the community of swimming, and then Social Kick has allowed us to do that. It's more than a hobby. It's just keeps me loving what this sport is about, the community we're at. And to me, that's not just us three, but it's the listeners and it's the guests and it's the environment we're in. So I'm eternally grateful for all you do that take the time to listen to us. I never thought that people would, so I'm grateful.
Definitely. Couldn't have said it better, guys. I think it's been a great year looking back, and I think next year is also going to be a good one. We'll continue doing what we do here at Social Kick. We might even have some new endeavors along the way as we're still figuring it out ourselves, right? So if we ever step on toes or do anything, remember, we're just trying our best here and trying to have fun doing it. But obviously, just want to wrap up here and thank everyone for listening as well. And that'll do it for this episode of Social Kick. Have a good year.
Hey everyone, thanks for hanging out with us. If you enjoyed this episode of Social Kick and you'd like to see more, subscribe to the channel. And we love talking swimming, and we'd love to talk about swimming with you. So leave us a comment and we'll see you next time.